Welcome. I'm happy to have you in this course. My name is Joshua B. I'm your instructor. I've been here at CBC quite a while, since like 2002. I started as adjunct, and what this video is mostly about is kind of an overview of CS 106, the course itself, and navigation, and how you know, the steps that you're going to be taking each week to be successful as you progress through the modules. So each module represents 1 week of information and learning content, and of course an assignment and an assessment. And I will be putting some videos in there as we go on the PowerPoints. We have other videos and I will have in there from other professors and other sources as supplementals. But predominantly, if you're listening to a video of another professor, just remember that I'm your professor, Professor B. When you're working with me, or when you need some help, direct your questions to me, and I'll be happy to help you out. But yeah, let's begin with a quick course overview and get you set up for success. And we will then move on to other things, and you'll have another video available to you. So multiple videos available to you. Let's start with an overview of kind of what are the goals that you're making and what's going to get you to that. And this one does tend to give quite a bit of anxiety to students, seeing that your exams, your tests are 85% of your grade. However, the way this is broken up is that you're going to be preparing for your midterm. And I believe your midterm, it's short response. So you're going to be preparing for your midterm, chapters 1 through 5, with these quizzes. So chapters 1 through 5 questions will be found in your midterm exam. And I believe, let me see here, the way I got it set up. I got it set up so you can take the midterm twice. And I believe I've got it set up so that you can do each quiz twice. And I recommend that you do each quiz twice. And at the same time, I think if we go over here to your modules, the ones I was in the assignment bar, this is actually what you will be working through and seeing. If you go all the way to the midterm, you see right here where we got a study guide. And what the study guide is it's just essentially giving you all the questions that you will see, and that way you can prepare for the exam not only with your quizzes but with this study guide that essentially gives you the questions, all 209 questions. So you can go in there and practice with that and see how well you do. And the quizzes I think will be more relevant because they're kind of more simulated. Because this just throws 200 questions at you. Your quizzes don't throw 200 questions at you. But again, there's no score for this study guide. It's just to prepare you for that midterm. Now, the other part of your grade is the final. The final is not, it's actually what I call a performance. So the final, you're going to be given a scenario, that you're going to go and complete using Microsoft Access. So what that means is the final is something I give to you and you get time to work on. You know, you can, you've got, I believe I got it set up so you got 24 hours that you can work on it. So once you start it, you can kind of turn it in, and there's some leeway with that 24 hours. You know, I'm going to be honest. Rarely do I really crunch down on the. Actually, I really don't. But yeah, 24 hours. I like to see the times match up for when you're done with your test, when you've submitted it versus when you first started the exam. And you can just go in and start the exam again to submit it. So you start it, get your scenario, and then work on it, and then go in, take the exam again, and submit your ACC DB files, which is your database files. So what that means is that every assignment that you are given is and things that you have to do for each module or chapter in the book. Those skills you will use in your final exam. So you will do steps that you are doing for each week. We'll give you a scenario with some steps to complete, and every week's assignment is actually preparing you for that. So, you know, remember, your quizzes are preparing you for the midterm, and your assignments are preparing you for the final. And you can take the midterm twice. The final, you start the final, get the scenario, go work on it in Access, come back in, restart the final, and submit it. If things happen, you can just email it to me as well. Towards the end of the quarter. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm not gonna be in modules here. This is actually I'm gonna be looking at assignments. That means everything and their points and weights that you're gonna be graded on. That you can look and get a brief overview. So 85% of your grade is exams, and we talked about that. So your quizzes are 5% of the grade, and those are based on short response from your book. So the quizzes and the midterm are like multiple choice, true, false, that sort of thing. And the final is your performance. Now, you'll have a quiz each week. You'll have an assignment each week. And the assignments are worth 20% of your grade. And they're what prepare you for that final performance exam. And I'll let you know, because I'll look at it and I'll let you know, like when you submit 4-2, if you've missed something critical, I will let you know that you missed it. Now, when I say critical, it could be like 9 points on the 100-point exam, something like that. I'll look at what it looks like, how well you did, and there's the final product I will see, and I will know just by looking at it what you've missed and what you need to go back and redo or re-examine. And then, if you do have a problem with your homework and you receive a lower score, I'm going to tell you exactly, hey, what's wrong with this? And then here's the beautiful part. You get to go back and fix it and resubmit it for full points. So your assignments are always negotiable for you guys to submit all the way up until the end of the quarter. That's the way I do all my classes when it comes to tech stuff. Tech stuff, come on. I mean, how many times have you had to reboot your computer? I mean, it's its own little thing. So you get plenty of chances for improvement. Now, if you get a full score and no comment from me, then what that means is, hey, you nailed it. Good job. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. Well done, congratulations. I may put some of that in there, like well done, congrats, or some clappy hands, or something like that. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of how grading of assignments will go. So now, what do the assignments look like then? Well, the quizzes, we know what the quizzes look like. They're multiple choice. We know that the midterm is multiple choice, like the quizzes. But what are the assignments like? And how do I get through the assignments, and how are they going to prepare me for the final? That we're going to talk about right now. I will be giving you the ability to have study groups that you can work on or work with. So, and you get extra credit for meeting with your study groups. Okay. Before we go look at an example of the assignments and how you're going to progress successfully through them, I want to point out that each week you're going to be given an assignment, but you only have to turn it in every fourth week. So that means you're going to be given an assignment the first week, but you don't turn it in. You're going to be working on top of the same file as you progress through the week. So that means you're going to be working with the same access file, ACDB file, and that is your database. So you create your database as a file, and then you complete the first 3 weeks without turning that file in. On the fourth week, you turn in your database file, your ACCDB file. And that's the file that will be created in the instructions from your book. Now, here's one thing that I recommend. Put that, as you progress through each week, put those files in 2 spots so you don't lose it. It's often, do backups every week. Copy your folder for 106, paste it in, rename it week 2. Something like that. But always do backups and put your stuff in 2 different spots. It's helpful. Sometimes if I'm really being silly and OCDing, I'll email myself the files that I really need. Right now, now I just put it on Google Drive and the hell with it. It's just it's done. That's some old tricks that I would do. So yeah, you're going to be working on the same file. So that means that if you make a mistake in 3- or 2-2 and you get to 4-2 and submit it, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to, hey, blessings, you move on, full score, or let you know, hey, you missed this, and you might have to backtrack. And it may be good to backtrack to the very file that you created in 2-2, the one where you made a mistake. So that's where it's important to keep each chapter's files separate if you can, as you build on top of the master file progressing. So when you get done with a week, copy that week's file or folder, paste it somewhere, and rename it week 3, week 2, so that you always want to have different ACCDB files as you progress through each week of the same file that represents your whole everything that you've done through each case problem or weekly assignment. Because you may have to go back to that particular week, and it's always easier to go back with a fresh start from the week where something went wrong or where you when you're going through these steps, you may perceive that something went wrong at this spot, and you can go directly to it versus being at week 4, working with your file and trying to figure out what little thing went wrong, and what chapter did it go wrong in. And of course I can help with that. But yeah, that's just a good kind of way of dealing with your, having a file system for your database files as you progress and you add upon it and you build it up. So let's go to, well, hey, how do I start making this file? How do I start building this file? And that is through each of the tutorials. There's two parts of the book. There's a part of the book that takes you through everything. It's like click this, click that, um, do this, do that. Really good instructions with images so that you can follow through. So let's give you an example of kind of what I'm talking about here. Let's go. Let's make this a little bigger. Little bigger. That would be. Let's do gooder. All right. There we go. So you are. This is like module one, and when you progress through each module, you're going to have two files that you keep track of. You're going to have the file of your instructional file, and then you're going to have the other ACCDB file, which represents your actual assignment. Now, instructions will be given to you as you progress, so you know which is which and what is what. But essentially, to prepare yourself to do the assignment, you must, and of course, learn this information. You must go through each module, reading the information, read the reading that comes with it, and I'm going to be getting into PowerPoints with you a little bit. Following through on, getting the content. And then what happens is after you learn a little bit more about it and you read some on it, as you are reading, you're going to be giving instructions to do. Okay? You're going to be progressing through because these are tutorials. They're both information and tutorials. So the reading that you do is preparing you for your midterm as well. And then each module's assignment has the steps that you complete. So when you come upon those steps, then it's action mode. Okay, so here's steps 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are steps that you will need to do to practice and get ready for the assignment. So here is the beginning of some of your steps or instructions that you have to do. And it looks like that's reading, more reading, boom, right there. You're seeing the tan. This is the beginning of all your instructions. This is how you start your working database, the Lakewood database that you're going to be building up through each tutorial and be given instructions to do through those tutorials. So prepare yourself for your actual assignment and read this information and do these steps. You're going to start at 1, then you're going to go to 2. Then you may have more reading. Here, it looks like this is the real start. Okay, start 1, here goes to 2. I believe the other one was just showing you how to start Access. Then we go to 3, then we go, it looks like each module is broken down by it starts off at 1, each sub-module, or each session in the module, you'll have different instructions, but you're going to go through the whole tutorial, the whole chapter, and you're going to complete all these instructions. And you're going to do it in order of the page that you've reviewed. And then you're going to keep going, keep filling out those instructions, and save your file a lot. Save it a lot so you don't have to start over. Save it a lot, guys. As you're progressing through these instructions of it telling you what to do. and how to do it, and giving you examples with images and so forth. And of course, a lot of this stuff, walkthroughs. Um, if you're having any particular troubles with a step, send me an email, and I've got like several videos that I've made of where students can have issues, certain steps that they have issues with, that I've shown how to. Basically, I call this kind of the click and forget type of learning. Unfortunately, however, it's actually perfect for this type of for this type of instruction. And not only that, but learning access, because everything is intuitive. So even though you've forgotten what sequence of clicks that you have to have, that's the forget part. You will know the direction where you need to start, to complete that particular step. And then use the graphical user interface, which is access, to complete those steps. So yeah, you will keep going through all the way into the end of each module. You have, it looks like, quite a few sessions to get through. So this is going to be timely. I would definitely set aside at least 9 hours a week. 9 hours a week. It's going to take you several hours to get through the instruction. And then when you get done with the instruction, all these steps in every module through each session, you are going to complete your assignment, because you're going to now know how to complete your assignment. So you're going to be given a case problem to complete. And that case problem, you are going to be doing the same case problem for your assignment as you progress through each module and tutorial and session. And this is the file that you want to back up all the time. So I'm going to be giving you one of these case problems. And so, like, say I give you case problem 2. That means that every module that you do, we go to module 2, you're going to complete case problem 2 after you're done with the instructions in the module or the tutorial. So, you will always do the same case problem at the end of each module or chapter for your case problems. And you'll know how to do those steps from the instruction and the tutorial from your book. So if there's a step you don't know how to do, it's likely in your book. In fact, that's where I go when students have problems, is I go right to the book to figure out, hey, this is how I show the student to do this step. I mean, of course, we're going to be using the book because everything's dependent on the book. The book is awesome. It is one of the best ways to learn databases. It's hands-on. You're working with a database, and even though the front end, the access part, is a little bit on older in technology, understanding the database itself is you're beginning into working with databases. So that talks about building. What are you going to be doing every week to be successful? You may not take 9 hours. It may just take you 4. Who knows? It may take you 10. But yeah, that's kind of the overview of the course. You'll see me, here and there throughout your modules. So, thank you.